Hello everyone, this is Mumbowl and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 115 and today we are starting things off in the Hermit Hills area. For no particular reason, I'm not going to be doing any building over here. In fact, the reason I'm actually here is because I finished doing the Monday evening live stream and I have a ton of wool on me because I was planning on building a bunch of presents outside the Mumbowl Jumbowl. I don't know if you guys remember that last year. I built a ton of presents and things around this area here, but unfortunately we ran out of time, and that meant that I wasn't able to build all of them. So we're not going to be doing that today. I'll probably save that for a future live stream or something like that. But it does mean I have got tons and tons of stuff. But anyway, while we're over here, I just thought I'd mention Hermit Hills is awesome. Okay, I completely forgot how cool Hermit Hills is because we were here in the Yogscast charity live stream. We were doing a tour of the server, and of course, this is a pretty good place to start. And it just reminded me of how mad this entire place is. We've got so many builds. So many awesome things to look at. Of course, we've got the Crown Hall, My Balloon, we have Exuma's Witch Hut, Full Symmetry's base, we've got the gigantic Shrek out the back. I mean, everywhere you look, there's just crazy, crazy builds, and I really do sort of take that for granted, I guess. I don't really mention it too much, but I'm always so very impressed with how crazy the Hermitcraft server has been. Series 3 of Hermitcraft has been amazing for me, and it still is continuing to be amazing for me. I'm loving Series 3 of Hermitcraft, and I'm really enjoying all of the builds that I'm working on, and all the projects that I'm working on. But it's just really cool to take a step back and just check out just the crazy, even the Nether Hub. I mean, we have a flying ghast. How many servers have a flying ghast? Probably not that many. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Anyway, enough of that. We're going to stop talking about builds now. I'm going to head back over to my base because actually I've got something really awesome to show you. And when I said my base, I actually meant this fella. Yes, this is sort of my home away from home at the minute. It's like my second base, I guess you could say, because I've been spending so much time over here. But that's because this is a big redstone project, and as far as I can tell, it's now all completed. We have got everything done, and that's made me very, very happy indeed. But on the Monday evening live stream that came out last week, I suppose, so you're watching this on Sunday, so it's almost a week ago now, we built something awesome. In fact, that live stream in general was pretty crazy. I ended up singing Jingle Bells, which was a strange turn of events. But I have added an extra bit to the Santa Claus that you should hopefully be able to see around about. Now, look, we've got the flying elves. They look absolutely brilliant. And we got ourselves some presents, which is fantastic. Santa still likes us. So yeah, there we go. We added in some flying elves into the equation, which just looks absolutely hilarious. You may remember that from the Christmas cheer machine that I created last year that played Jingle Bells and things like that, which was also one of my favorite redstone builds. But I definitely think that's a really nice finishing touch to the entire thing. And I'm super chuffed with it. So there we go. That is the Temple of Santa. We have actually managed to create this thing, and it is actually looking really very funny. I'm so chuffed with it. But anyway, we're going to move away from that one. We are finally going to be leaving this thing behind, going back over to my base and doing some work over there, because it's been a while. I feel like I've neglected my base just a little bit recently. So let's port back home. So, the first plan of today's episode is something that I feel I have been putting off for a little while now, and I haven't worked on it at all. It's just been broken for around about 3 months, and that is, of course, my little sorting system down at the bottom here. This is great, okay, and I will just stress that this is Tango Tech's design that I have modified, and I've completely broken the thing. As you can see, we've got our sorter there. It doesn't even sort into the correct positions anymore, but most importantly, if we get away from those cats, as you can see here, yeah, it's sort of backed up. It has backed up good and proper. I mean, there are items going right the way back here. There's some really good items in here as well. I think we've got some, yeah, we've got a diamond pickaxe there. That's a good diamond pickaxe. We've got some eggs, some diamonds, some actual diamonds there. There's just, yeah, there's tons and tons of items in here. And it's basically backed right the way back. So I think what we need to do is we definitely need to fix this thing, and that's probably going to involve coming up with an entirely new design for it. This is the part that breaks. This part right here, and we basically need to remove all of this and come up with a slightly more intelligent way of doing things, which I feel is pretty sensible. So I'm going to try and come up with some redstone ideas and things. I'm sure I'll be able to come up with something, and then I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Now, because I have so many comparators at the minute, I've come up with an idea that I think will definitely solve the problem, but it might just be a little bit on the silly side. However, I'm well and truly happy to go for the silly side right now because currently things aren't really working. So this is our redstone clock down here. So this is what we need to power. This is the pulse extender that we need to power. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a massive comparator pulse extender. So it's going to go right the way out like this. It's going to be huge, okay? And it's going to go right the way around here. Oh, I've just had a thought. We're going to need a repeater, which is good. I'm really glad that I've got redstone resources on me right now. But I also seem to have hundreds of comparators, so this seems like a really sensible option. And then, yeah, I'm basically going to create a massive platform like this with a block up at that end. Hopefully, that should be enough. I mean, I would have thought that will be enough there. Redstone there, and then our comparators. We have 28 of those. And we'll just chuck them in like this. That's, how many is that? That's 5. So it'll be 5 this way, 5 that way. That's probably good enough for me. That is going to take a very, very long time indeed. And then that power can then run down like this. And I suppose we'll just sort of hook it into the redstone clock. To do that, I guess I can run a repeater right in there. And basically wrap this redstone round. It's not particularly pretty, and it's not particularly elegant. But I think that's the way to go. And we actually need that to be inverted, which thankfully I've got myself a redstone torch. I think that is, yeah, the way that I want to go with this one. So when the final item passes through here, it will take ages for this to turn off. Then when it finally does, this redstone clock will turn off, which means that we won't have any lag. But then if another item travels through, then of course our pulse will activate once again, and the entire thing will fire back into action. So I think we might have come up with a solution to the problem, and it looks, I mean, it's not very resource efficient. We've used a ton of comparators here, and it's not particularly compact, and it's not very intelligent. This is like brute forcing it, essentially. But I think this might be the way to go. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and wait for this whole thing to blow over, and then I'll see if everything is up and running. So the good news is, I think everything is up and working in terms of our redstone clock. The bad news is that now my sorter's not working for some bizarre reason. It's working on some chests, but not all of them, which is just a massive pain in the backside. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm really tempted right now to just turn all of this into bulk storage and not have any sorting whatsoever. I am tempted to do that because, to be honest with you, this has just caused me so many issues. And once again, I modified this part as well. I modified Tango's concept. I took Tango's concept and then had to make some serious changes due to the space limitations. And clearly, I haven't done a particularly good job here. But yeah, I might have to end up doing that. I'll probably do that towards the end of today's episode if everything is still broken. But we have got more important things to work on because, ladies and gents, I actually want to start work on a new part of my base, which, yeah, I know that's scary, isn't it? That is scary, starting a new part of the base, and it's outside of the main Mumbowl Jumbowl. Basically, I want to create a viewing area, so let's take a look. So this mountain right here, I think is absolutely perfect for adding in an awesome viewing area. So the idea is that I'm basically going to create, I'm trying to think what this actually looks like. I'd say, think Tony Stark's house. You know, the house that unfortunately got blown up. Hopefully that doesn't happen to me. But Tony Stark's house in Iron Man, right? So we've got this like hillside here, and it's slightly curved, and I just want to have like a disc that comes out like this, just in the side of the mountain there, where we can stand and basically oogle, get our peepers on my base. Because, you know, we spend a lot of time inside my base, but I did spend a lot of time making sure that this place looked really good, and it would be a shame to waste that. So I think having like an external viewing area would look pretty good. So I suppose the first thing that I've got to do is I've got to do some clearing out. I've got to clean out that area there, take a big chunk out of this thing, and then I suppose we'll start constructing it. This is pretty exciting. So let's crack on with that one, and I will catch you guys in a little bit. So, as you can see, the mountainside is now missing a bunch of blocks. We have got a ton of space to work with here. Let's just ender pearl right the way in there and make sure there's no mobs. Good stuff. So yeah, this is the area that we have to work with. It's a pretty decent size, okay? This is only going to be a viewing station. There's not going to be any crazy bits and pieces going on in here just yet. I don't know, maybe in the future that might happen, but for now, this is the only use for it. And as you can see, we have a pretty cool view of the base. We get sort of the backside of the item sorters, which is always a good look. And then also we have the gigantic elevator. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. I'd forgotten how big this elevator actually is, but it goes right the way up to almost the sky limit there. And of course we can see the mob spawner and all of the hoppers and things. Basically, I'm pretty chuffed with the way that everything looks from up at the top here. Now, as far as the actual design for the building itself is concerned, I haven't actually thought that far ahead, and we're not going to be working on that in today's episode. However, I do sort of want to do a little bit of work over here because, of course, we need to link this up somehow. There's no way I want to go around ender pearling up into this thing. We need to link it up to some form of minecart track, and the good news is that if I remember correctly, the satellite base area should be just over here, which means that our minecart track is probably traveling just underneath. So that means that we have to create a sort of... Oh, we've got a bulb patch as well. I hadn't realized that. But we need to create a sort of minecart intersection where we can switch the track and travel up into the viewing area. I think that's probably the best way of doing things. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to pop down there. We'll start clearing out the tunnel area up to that place, and then we'll be good to go to create the minecart track. Now, the really good news here is that I've lucked out, and I've basically managed to build these perfectly in line. So what we've got is the coordinates for my upper base area are 1496, 78, 62, and the coordinates for this little spot right here are 1460, 55, 62, which means that we have to go up around about 20 blocks, and we have to go across around about 36 blocks. So that's pretty easy. I think we can do that quite nicely. But anyway, I think I've just heard my delivery man arrive. Got a package on the way, so I'm going to go grab that one. Bit of an update for you guys. That wasn't actually the delivery man at all, which is just a tiny bit depressing. But in other news, there we go. We managed to actually break through. I hadn't realized that they were going to be the breakthrough blocks, but there we go. We have made our way through. There's a creeper. There's a creeper. Please don't blow up my new area. So there we go. That is the tunnel. It comes right the way through here. And as you can see, it just drops down like this. It's not particularly far. We did a fantastic job there. Or at least I'm going to take all the credit here. I did a fantastic job here at lining these two things up. Because that couldn't have gone better if I tried. But of course, this tunnel is looking pretty ugly right now. Is that the delivery man? Man, I keep hearing vans and things and thinking that it's the delivery man. I'm just going to continue recording anyway. Yeah, this tunnel is not looking particularly brilliant, is it? I mean, it's pretty ugly. It's got torches everywhere. It has all these ugly granite blocks and things like that. I don't really like that. So instead, we are going to be doing it the same design that we have used for pretty much all of our tunnels, which is this one. So I'm going to have to gather up some stone slabs and also some sea lanterns, and then hopefully everything will start looking good. And the final little lighting bracket is now going in now. I don't know what these things are called, so I'm going to refer to them as lighting brackets because I think that is a pretty good description of them there. But there we go, and sea lantern, and also going to fill in these blocks right here. And there it is. That's our tunnel. So everything's now looking very nice and pretty. It's all looking rather complete. This project is going so much better than I ever imagined. So there it is. It's looking cool. Now, of course, we've got to add in the minecart rail. That's a pretty essential element. And also the track switcher. So, of course, we need to be able to select satellite base or viewing area. Those are the two options there. I imagine I'm going to be going to the satellite base more often, which means that I guess we should just have a button so it defaults to the satellite base, but then if you really want to go to the viewing area, you hit the button and it goes whoop, and then you go up there. I think that's the best way of doing things. Yeah, I think that's the way that I'm going to set things up. So let me just grab some rails and redstone, and then we'll be good to go. Now I'm going on a bit of an adventure here because I know for a fact that I have some chest somewhere with just a silly number of minecart rails. Okay, there's hundreds of them. And I really can't be bothered today to craft up a bunch of minecart rails. So I'm on the hunt for it. To be honest, it would probably be faster to actually craft them. Obviously, I've made my way all the way over here now. But I have a feeling... I feel like it's in the Mumbowl Jumbowl, okay? Because I was here, I was in the Cast charity livestream. I suddenly remembered that I have all this stuff. And I was meant to take it over to my base, but I didn't. Now, where on earth would that be? It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Is it in redstone? What? that is rails. I mean, we'll take that as a positive. There's no powered rails there, which is a bit of a pain in my backside. Man, I swear there were powered rails. Maybe I was just... Maybe I... Well, there is a positive there. I have got a ton of regular rails now. We could just do like a massive roller coaster type thing if we really wanted to. But no powered rails, so we're still going to have to craft those. And those are definitely the most annoying ones to craft. So, not exactly the result that I was hoping for. But, you know, we take it with a pinch of salt. So after all that, I'm not actually going to use any of the regular rails, because regular rails are for peasants, and we don't use those on the Hermitcraft server because we aren't peasants on the Hermitcraft server. Instead, we go 100% powered, because that's just so much better. We like to live fast, we like to get places quickly, and I think that's the way that we're going to do things. So hopefully I should have enough. I've got a few more here. I did have to craft all of these up, by the way. In the end, I couldn't find any. I swear I had hundreds of powered rails from doing the Great Rail project. Like, they were all just left over. But apparently not. So here we go. We are almost there. One more redstone block right there. And there it is. Alright, so we have now hooked up this place officially up to the top. But of course we do now have to do this little intersection thing. So what I'll do is I'll power it. Yeah, I knew it. I knew that was going to default like that. So as far as the actual intersection itself is concerned, I'm going to do some redstone live on camera. Because I think the system that I'm going to set up is not necessarily a smart one. It's not particularly smart, but I think this is probably the best way of doing it. I think I'm just going to place a sticky piston redstone block like that. Why has that not worked? This could be bad. Guys? The redstone blocks not power these things. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You have actually got to be kidding me. Okay, right. We're going to have to head back to the drawing board then. I thought my idea was perfect, and then apparently it wasn't, because for some reason, redstone blocks... Yeah, they don't appear to work with powered rails, which is very strange, and it's probably the same bug that they tried to fix in the Minecraft 1.9 update that made redstone blocks power everything, which is bad. So Mojang, if you're watching this, don't fix that bug, because it's fine as it is. But I am going to have to come up with a new solution here. I really can't tell if this is an elegant solution or not. I don't know if that looks good. It works, though. It looks like it works. Let's see if we can actually use it, because, you know, that's a pretty quick pulse that we're going to have to deal with. I know that we don't have any minecarts on that end. That's why I'm going this way. So we'll quickly pick one of those up. And I definitely won't be able to do it this side. My aim is going to have to be on point, okay? If I want to go to the viewing area, I'm really going to have to be, like, sharp shooting here. But let's just make our way to the other station, and then we'll just hop back in the minecart and do it all again. So here goes. We are in the minecart, and we are en route. So I'm just going to have to point and hold right click. I would have thought this would be easy, but you never know, especially with servers. I'll probably end up spamming blocks everywhere as well. So here goes. My crosshair is on the button. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? It didn't work at all. Next strategy, maybe place in an unpowered rail to slow us down a tad. Maybe. Let's give that a shot. So funnily enough, that actually worked. That's a working solution to the problem. So we've actually fixed that issue. Now the next thing that I was planning on doing was I was going to put in the Minecart Station here. You know, the Minecart Stations that we have with the cacti and things. I'm not going to be doing that simply because we don't have a floor yet. And if I build all of that without a floor, when I put the floor in, I'm going to have to tear all of it out and do it all again. And that seems really quite silly. So for the minute, we are having one of these ghetto little things right here, where we just hop in the minecart and we go. So there we go. We have linked up the new base set. Oh no! Well, that's doubly annoying. Okay, new problem that we now have to fix is the fact that we need this to change state as we come down, which means that we're going to need a detector rail. Oh, why is all this stuff always a brain ache? I was going to finish recording the episode then, but these problems... So I'm almost there. I've had to do some reshuffling of the redstone because you know how it is. You link everything up, you think everything's going to work fine, and then suddenly you think of something. So the redstone's going to have to go like that. And then this redstone from the detector rail is going to have to come all the way across here and in like that. So there we go. That should solve our little problem. Now, if we have a minecart and it goes over the detector rail, that will change the state of this rail right here, meaning that we go round like that. And now we have to power all of these, which shouldn't be an issue either. So there we go. That is the track done. That's all I'm going to do on it. That is all completed. And that actually rounds up today's episode of Hermitcraft. I hope you enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun today. We have created a new area outside the base, which is something that we haven't done for many, many episodes. Hundreds of episodes, in fact. So thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.